Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am Jeffgrantmedia, and today's unboxing and first impressions video, we've got a package from Oliver Charles. Slater, one of the founders and owners of the company, reached out to me and asked me if I want to take a look at one of their sweaters or a hoodie or something. And I took a look at the website, and they make 3D knitted clothing. I had never heard of it before. I had never seen such a thing before. I didn't know it existed. So of course I said, yes, this looks very intriguing to me. I would love to check something out. So after looking through the site, I decided I would like to check out one of their all-season hoodies. So I believe inside this package is one of their all-season hoodies, but before we jump to conclusions, why don't we open it and find out. Ooh, okay. So we've got a dust cover. Actually, we actually have a tote bag, so that's kind of cool. And then we've got a little booklet here. That's some care instructions and whatnot for the garment. All right, let's check out the actual garment, and then we'll tell you a little bit about this. There we go. And yes, this is the hoodie, but okay, so this is very interesting. This is, I believe, merino wool and yak's wool together. And because it is 3D knitted, so there's no seams for the sleeves, but there is a seam coming down the side. Is it on both sides? Yes, so there is a seam coming down both sides, as well as a seam where the hood meets the body. But I believe the way this is made, it's 3D knitted, but I believe it's rung spun or rung knitted. I don't remember the term. I definitely have some more research to do. But I believe it's essentially just knitted in a circle, so that's why there's no seams for the sleeves or anything like that. It's kind of like just knitted as a circle. But this is, I believe, all machine done. This isn't sewn by hand. And one of the big benefits of being 3D knitted on a machine is that there is very, very little waste to the product. Because this garment isn't cut from several different pieces of fabric and sewn together, you don't get all that waste from all the excess fabric scraps that are left over once you cut the pattern of the garment out onto the materials. So printed all on a machine. Now, one thing I did reach out for clarification, I've not gotten it yet. I don't know if these are printed on demand. I do know that these are actually printed in Brooklyn, New York. And I am in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I am literally about a 2 to 3 hour drive, depending upon traffic, to get into the city. So this did arrive on my doorstep in one day. So it shipped from Brooklyn, got to Scranton in one day. Actually, it went past me. It went all the way down to Horsham, which is kind of outside of Philly. So it drove past Scranton all the way to Philly, and then it came to my doorstep in one day. So the shipping was lightning fast. So let's dig into the specs of the hoodie. The Oliver Charles all-season hoodie comes in at $265 USD. It is made from 75% merino wool and 25% Tibetan yak wool. And yes, I did say yak wool. I have never had a garment made out of yak wool before. They said it is soft like cashmere, and I could say, yeah, it's pretty soft. It's I've not owned any cashmere in my life, but I have felt cashmere. And I'd say it's similar feeling. I wouldn't say it's quite as soft as cashmere, but it's pretty soft, and to the touch, I'm liking what I'm feeling right now. The yak wool is taken from high elevation yak called Kuhl, which I'm probably saying terribly wrong. This wool is world renowned for temperature regulating and odor resistant properties. This is machine washable, and Oliver Charles says never worry about ruining your favorite sweater. It is made from ultra fine natural fibers. This is made in Brooklyn, New York, but the company themselves is based out of San Francisco. And the garment does come with a lifetime warranty. Now, because the yak wool has odor-resistant tendencies, much like the merino wool that this is also made out of, this is probably going to be a very good travel option for you because it's merino and yak, so it's going to be antimicrobial, it's going to be odor-resistant, so this is going to be a garment that you can wear for several days in a row, especially if you're on a long-haul flight and you're doing, a 20-plus hour travel day. Airplanes, airports, doesn't matter if it's the winter or the summer, they're freezing cold. You always want to have an extra layer. This would probably be an amazing travel garment. It does feel light and airy, but it feels like a mid-weight sweater would. So this is something that I think maybe this time of year where we're having cooler mornings and the afternoons are getting hotter because it's like late spring, this is gonna be like a good garment to throw on the way out the door to go to the office. And then because it's so light, you can probably just throw it over your shoulder, or I could throw this in my bag when I'm heading out the door to head home when the temperatures have risen up into the 70s and 80s at this time of the year. But overall, first impressions before I even put it on, I'm liking the feeling of the sweater. It feels really nice. No, there's no interesting odors to it. Again, I've never had yak wool before, so I don't know. Maybe yak wool smells out the gate, but no, it smells completely fine. It just smells like a new garment. But let's go ahead and try it on and see what we think. Now, I am 5'9", 175 pounds, and I am wearing a size large. I can say first thing I'm noticing is this is a bit more form-fitting. I did kind of anticipate that looking at the images on the website, which is one of the reasons I sized up to a large, because I wanted it to be a little bit looser on me. But even sizing up the large, I feel like is still a little bit form-fitting on me. But now that I'm running quite a bit again, I am hoping to slim down a little bit more as the summer progresses on. The sleeves feel like they're a pretty good length for me. I can stick my arms straight out and they're not riding up like I'm wearing high waters. It does feel very, very comfortable on the skin. It is very soft. There is no itch at all or irritation anywhere on the sweater. Putting the hood on, it does feel like a pretty good size. It's covering my head with and without a hat, no problem. And again, it is comfortable. I'm not getting any itch or irritation on my ears because this is a wool sweater. Now, I am only test trying this on for the very first time, but it is about 70 degrees right now, and I'm comfortable. I don't feel like I'm getting warm just standing here wearing the sweater. Now, I wouldn't want to wear it in any warmer temperatures than this, but at about 70 degrees and the wind's blowing outside right now, I'm pretty comfortable in this sweater. Now, my overall first impressions of the Oliver Charles all-season hoodie. It's very comfortable. It is, again, I did size up one extra size, and it is still a little bit form-fitting. So if you want it to be looser, I'd say go up one or maybe even two sizes from your normal size so you can have a little bit looser fit. I am still a little bulky, I'm not gonna lie. I am slimming down, so this will probably fit me a little bit better in even a month's time. But if you want it to be loose fitting, you're gonna have to upsize because it is a form-fitting sweater. It is very comfortable, it is very soft. This is my first foray into both 3D knitted clothing, which again, I did not know existed until Slater reached out to me about a week or so ago. And this is also my first foray into a yak's wool. So it is very soft. It is also merino wool, which is why, part of the reason this is a $265 sweater. Merino wool, it's pricey. Merino wool t-shirts will run you like $75 to $90 just for a t-shirt. Once you get up into some of the merino wool hoodies and sweaters, that's when you're gonna start talking $200 to $300. Now, yak's wool also, I'm guessing, is a little bit more high on demand. This is made from high altitude yak, but it's very soft, it's very comfortable. This is also small batch. So 3D knitted is going to cost more than regular fast fashion garments because fast fashion, even though they are very wasteful, they're made just that, fast. They're made in big factories, they're cut in large batches, all made by machines, and then they're just kind of sewn together, thrown together, probably zero QC, and I can tell you from a lot of the jeans that I've had in the more modern decades, yes, I'm talking about Levi's, there's probably no QC going on at some of those large factories. So there's going to be QC going on. This is made in America, and it's small batch. So merino wool, yak's wool, small batch, made in America. That's all going into that price tag of $265. Do I think it's worth $265? I haven't worn it yet, so I can't definitively say. But knowing what I do know, and especially knowing how much merino wool, just regular merino wool costs, I think that this is in the ballpark of the price point that it is at. So I'm not gonna say it's worth $265 yet because I didn't wear and test it, but I can say from what I know and what I'm expecting out of this garment, I think $265 is probably going to be a pretty fair price point for this sweater at this time. I will report back in a couple of weeks once I've gotten some real wear out of this, and I'll let you know if I think it's worth $265. But out of the gate, out of the bat, it's very comfortable. I'm liking it. I wasn't, even though they told me and I read the description that it was soft like cashmere, I was still expecting it to be a little picky and maybe a little itchy just because I'm thinking yak's wool. Like that can't be super soft, but I was completely wrong. Yak's wool, it's soft. This is very comfortable. I don't feel any itches at all. And again, it's like 70 degrees right now. And you would think like my armpit areas, which usually get a little sweaty and warm, I'm sitting here with my elbows on the table, that would get a little itchy if I was getting warm, but I feel completely fine right now. And I'm not getting warm. I'm not overheating. I'm not sweating or anything like that. So this is definitely very good at temperature regulation as well. And I'm only wearing like a thin t-shirt on underneath. And this t-shirt's really, really thin. This is an old Primark t-shirt that I bought in London like 5 or 6 years ago. So it's from Primark and it's about 5 or 6 years old. So it's very thin, very worn. But it's all I have on underneath this right now, and I feel comfortable. So all in, so far, happy with what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling from this fabric, but time's gonna tell. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications when I post the full real user review of the Oliver Charles all-season merino and yak hoodie. Good night.